file 106 verses, talking about marriage and family in the Quran. This is use Anika 20 times and Azawj 80 times and Wahaba. This term just for the Prophet 2 times. It's very important to see how the Quran says about marriage. Understanding the real meaning of marriage in Islam means unraveling all verses stating about marriage, sorting them out by trying to see them as a whole before concluding the essence of the verses. The Quran always describes marriage as mithaqan ghalidha. What does that mean? As a strong commitment between two equal parties, enclosed with love and affection. Each party is obliged to maintain the sanctity and perpetuity and also the continuity of the commitment. The Quran also stresses the egalitarian relationship between spouses. It's very, very beautiful. The next idea is marriage an obligation or not? But before talking about marriage, is it an obligation or not? It is important to understand first the traditional definition of marriage. The term anika, which literally means al-damu, al-wadu, and al-aqdu. For example, in Arabic language we say tanakah al-ashjar. The meaning is that iza tamalayat wa damma ba'dun ila ba'din, meaning when the trees lean against each other, they go on together. Some important definition given by the classical ulama from the 4 main mazhab. I would like to show you how the classical ulama define marriage. The Hanafi ulama from the mazhab Hanafi generally define marriage as an agreement that resulted on the possession of sex, al-budaw, by intention. The possession of sex means that a man would have ownership over the women's genitals as well as the rest of her body. I don't like this definition, but I just want to show you how the importance of sexuality in marriage, in ulama's classic definition. Of course, a true possession was the sole right of God, but nonetheless, this view gave men the right to have sex intact with their possessions. If you look at the classical fiqh, the word istinta, the word istinta, you find that the word istinta many times come in their definition. Also, the Shafi'ite ulama from this mazhab viewed marriage as an agreement which resulted on the right of man to have sex by using the terms ankah, to marry someone off, or tazwij, or other praise to that effect. In a sense, this definition gave men the right to benefit from the women's genitals. Some ulama say that the marriage gave the right for a man to have sex, but not the right of ownership. This is the debate on classical ulama about definition of marriage. And also from the Maliki ulama, the ulama from Mazhab Maliki, especially Ibn Arafah, defined marriage is an agreement to have sexual pleasure without mentioning the price beforehand. In simple terms, the ulama said that the marriage was an agreement that allowed the man to own and to enjoy the women's genitals and the rest of her body. And also the definition from Hanbali ulamas, the ulama from this mazhab defined marriage in a practical way. Marriage was defined as a contract made verbally using the terms ankah, or tazwij in order to have sexual pleasure. Although the above definitions seem fried, if we observe them carefully, they have strong resemblances. Marriage was basically a contract to regulate women. This is my conclusion. So in classical fiqh, they said intifa'u zawjin bibid'i zawjihi wa sa'iri badaniha min haythu talazzum. The meaning is the use by husband over his wife's genitals and the rest of her body for sexual pleasure. Through the marriage contract, the husband gained the right to enjoy his wife's whole body. Some ulamas differentiated between milkul intifa, temporary possession, from milkul manfa'ah, permanent possession. But for me, this distinction does not detract from the man's fundamental right of ownership. If we look at the details of the definition, we can find the patriarchal assumptions, although they may not have been made intentionally by the ulama at the time. The patriarchal assumption as follows. First, the objectification of women by men. The definition above are step towards man's ownership of women. The term milkul mut'ah, the possession of sex, milkul bud'ah, the possession of the vagina and such, have pejorative implications. It seemed that marriage was only defined in terms of its sexual and physical aspects. For me, in reality, we cannot pass up the importance of these aspects, but there are more important ones too, such as the primary mission to form a family, which is full of love and blessing, mawaddah warahmah. Secondly, the patriarchal assumption, due to this objectification, women's position was subordinate to and controlled by men, and this included her sexual life. The Hanafi school argued that men rather than women had the right to sexual pleasure, meaning that men could force their wives to satisfy their sexual desires even when their wives refused them. Thirdly, ijab, submissions, and qabul, acceptance in marriage, although they did not imply a straight buying-selling transaction, were very often treated in practice. This was reinforced by the system of dowry, which seemed to be a tool for a sales transaction and made women seem like objects. So in many fiqh books, fiqh classical, I came to the conclusion that dowry is meant the payment of the body, the price of the vagina. Now,